welcome once again to the Channel 49 Adventures Travel Club. Betty, where are we?
Well, I can read what it says there. That is Salamanca.
Hey, that's great.
It was
That
a pretty place, too.
Yeah,
I
we're
just
in
like
Spain.
Salamanca. Yeah.
Yeah, it is so beautiful, and we visited this place a few times before, but it's always great to come back here because there's so much to see.
Yeah, but and I forget what I saw the first time, and I have to refresh my mind because when you move around a bit, you kind of forget.
Well, yeah, as much traveling as you do, though,
Yeah.
especially, sometimes it just runs together a little bit, doesn't it?
Yeah, and so many of the cathedrals in the old cities, because of the era that they were built in, have so many similarities to
Yeah.
them, so you sometimes can't quite differentiate, especially the cathedrals, huh?
Yes, right. A cathedral's a cathedral, but actually, some of them do look, quite a bit different. But
Yeah.
they do also look very similar when you get into some areas like this. This is it. This is one of the courtyards, and of course, the university is here too. It's just really beautiful. I think that this architecture, of course, I'm really crazy for architecture, and I could just stand here and look at this all day long because you just keep discovering so many things.
All
there,
the carvings.
Ah.
When you think about the workmanship and they didn't have the power tools and things that we have
Had
today.
to do it with a hammer and a chisel,
Yeah. And I loved the little plaza that they have there. I just remember sitting out there.
It's
In fact, I
beautiful.
bought a picture.
Did you really?
There was some artist drawing. But
Well, this is
anyway.
now inside, of course, the
Yeah,
cathedral we can see
yeah.
here. I mean, I just thought, looking up
Look
at
at
those
the-
beautiful
oh, yeah.
vaulted ceilings, it's just the artwork on the outside and the inside. And look, there's another, a dome that you can see there too. And some of these ornate altars were just
Look at
really
the gold,
magnificent.
yeah. Now, Marv, is that Gothic that we're looking at?
No, not that particular style.
that
In fact, we'll learn a little bit more about Gothic later on when we get into France.
Okay.
But in the same program today. But I do want to say that we are going to have Mass here at this one chapel that we had Mass in before when we visited. It was interesting because they had booked us in the same chapel here. And this was really, really quite beautiful. Here goes
Oh,
Father
look
Jerry.
who's coming.
Right. And, of course, everybody sing. There were so many of us there that we all couldn't get into the chapel itself. It's kind of spilled over a little bit, but it was really, really quite beautiful, and the statuary here. Now, you ask about the style. Oops,
Yeah.
excuse me.
I know. I didn't like
okay,
this.
this is very modern, as we can
Yes,
see.
yes,
And this
yes.
was it's supposed to be a Madonna, I think, Madonna and child. It looked like it was just floating there. But this was really at the entrance of the cathedral, and this artist had a whole exhibition that you can see here. And I'm sorry I didn't have enough time to get enough shots of that same type of figure was done in various colors and probably different medium, and they were all in sort of plexiglass display cases there.
It makes it
Beautiful.
so modern, though, looking, doesn't it? I know it's
Yeah.
probably for protection, wasn't it? The plexiglass.
Oh yeah, for that sure.
Yeah.
But and you found that in a lot of churches where and I don't think that was a permanent exhibition there.
Oh.
I think that was just. I mean, we didn't see it. It wasn't there before the year before when we were there, but it was this year. And I think that a lot of times it works. Sometimes you just wonder about that. I mean, when you have various styles and then you have a very ultra-modern piece of artwork or a piece of sculpture that's there, and you can put it in this area. And sometimes it works and sometimes
I
it
think
doesn't.
it leaves me cold, but I guess if it's for protection, then it's very important.
Right, no, it is. And if you remember now, you go down to the cathedral in Los Angeles, and they have, I mean, that's quite modern, but you go into one of the chapels, and it's all very, very ornate and carved. It's something that was left over from a century or so before.
Oh, that was just an altar that was the altar part in the facade, wasn't that?
Yeah, but there's
imported,
a chapel there. We've moved into the Basque area now, and I wanted to show this. I believe that ambulance, the lettering on it was in the Basque language. We're coming to a beautiful city, and this is right on the water, San Sebastian. They said, well, we're going to make a stop in San Sebastian. I thought, what's up there? And then when we got up here, I thought, oh my golly, this is really quite beautiful. We followed a river, and we're going to go right down to the seashore. And I want you to listen very carefully because our guide, who has a very thick French accent, is going to explain a little bit to us right now.
taking the water, going to the seaside, is something which will become fashionable only in the 1800s. Before the mid-1800s is when going to the seaside became fashionable. Before that, you would not have gone into the sea at all. You would have just walked around the seaside. But we will come back. We will come to this when we will be in Nice also, as it's very similar to this. Nice, same idea.
This is really quite beautiful. And you know, Betty, for figuring that this was November, it was almost 90 some odd degrees here on the coast.
I keep saying how blessed we are, but you know, just a little bit ago we did see an umbrella, and
yeah.
So I have to be really careful.
Well,
what
we
I
warned
say,
everybody.
but,
You know, we
yeah.
said, I mean, we'd been there before, and in Lourdes, where we're heading to now, and it could get quite cold. But on the way there, here people are out in their bathing suits, and they're, you know.
It was
surfing.
unusual. It was just really beautiful. Oh, well,
Right.
the nice thing is, if you have wraps, put them on, and then if you don't need them, you can take them off.
Yeah.
But if you don't have them, oh wow.
Yeah,
you
that's
know?
true. Now, here's something that'll keep you warm.
Yeah.
A little sweet shop.
Yeah.
And there are some beautiful
How
things in
sweet
here.
it is. Get away from there, Father. That's not good for you.
Oh, I'll tell you.
Father was very dear, though. He would buy
Yeah.
cookies and bring them back on the
No, it
bus
was
and
nice. It was
share.
great. Well, we did stop here for lunch and also look for ATM machines, which you finally found, didn't you, Betty?
Yeah, but it was hard.
Yeah, well, some places they're not.
But the
Quite as prevalent as
nice thing, right
I noticed.
across, right up the street from it, there was another church, and they were having mass there, and it was just, we just hit it right. I mean, it was just for me and somebody else that was with me, but it was nice.
Well, I was down here by the water and watching the waves and the people during the surfing, and then had lunch too at a little place. It was really, really quite nice. So this was so great because we could all kind of wander around. We had a couple of hours here to stop for lunch and do whatever we wanted to. And I think if we stayed any longer, we'd have been like this person out there
Look at that!
on the beach.
See, and the waves were just beautiful.
Yeah, look at that.
Yeah.
Who would have thought that right there in the
That's
middle of November? You know?
Great stop. It was a great stop,
Yeah,
and
it
I was
really
like you.
was.
I think, what are we going there for? You know?
Yeah. Well, you know, and sometimes, I mean, now this has happened a few times on our trips. Places that Betty and I may not be totally familiar with, they would say, well, why are we going to go there? And boy, I'm sure glad we did.
Yeah, like Carcassonne was one of them,
Yeah,
and Huesca
that's nice.
was another one. You know, that we were so delighted with.
Right. Yeah,
Now, what
beautiful.
is this, Marv?
Well, we're just got on the bus now. We're going to leave because we got to
leaving,
head
huh?
up to we got to head up and cross the border and get into France. But this is a little bit more of the city that you can
Isn't
see
it
here.
beautiful?
Yeah, and so much of it is built, you know, around the sea here or the ocean. I mean,
Yes,
it's
you
just
can see
beautiful.
that.
You can see that, right?
Get it? You get it?
I got
Okay.
it.
All right.
But look at the architecture, you know, really quite nice here. And just like the Spanish do, beautiful architecture, beautiful gardens, and just so nice.
I
you know.
like to see
Wonderful.
the greenery around, don't you? Like the trees, like you find in Madrid, the main street down with all the trees and the green, and yeah, it's nice.
Well, now we're back out in the country. We've left San Sebastian, and we're heading on up to France, as we can see there on the sign. And, you know, the interesting thing is here, you go to the border, and sometimes you get stopped, and other times you're just waved right on through. But that wasn't for the border thing there for stopping. I mean, all we had to do is pay for the toll road. That's what that was for, because the borders are all open.
Yeah, you do pay and pay and pay.
Especially if you got a great big bus like this.
Yes, yeah.
But now we have crossed into France, and we can see a little bit different architecture as we enter the village of Lourdes.
Oh.
And we're coming here on the outskirts of Lourdes, and we're going to enter in the old portion of Lourdes. But you can see how the trees here are
Magnificent
changing.
fall
Yeah.
colors,
Oh,
aren't
beautiful.
they?
Absolutely wonderful.
You,
And
you did great camera work, though, Marv. You brought it all out for us.
Well, just sitting there, you know, in the front seat, bumping along.
Well, you do a
Yeah,
good
let's
job.
listen to our guide for a minute.
Look right inside, in between the houses, a touchdown. Okay, right inside, in between the houses, here, in between the house, no, not from here. Yes, you have the, if you look back now, you have the view over the top of the basilica. Haha. And there you saw the castle. So here we have the old Louvre from the castle looking forward. Okay, the old Louvre with the parish church, the one you are able to see here on the right hand side, not the one Bernadette knew, because that one burned down at the beginning of the 1900s. But inside that one there is a baptistry font in which he was baptized.
Well, here is the beautiful village, as we say, of Lourdes. And you have to look around here. There's a lot of things to see. There's a castle up on a hill, and, of course, then the basilicas that we're going to see. The complex is quite large. If you've been watching Channel 49, you know that we've had several programs on St. Bernadette and also on Lourdes. And with the many, many programs we've had, you do have an opportunity to see an awful lot of what is going on and all of the activities that do happen in the town of Lourdes here in France. Betty, you know, Bernadette's mother was born in 1825, and she died in December 8th in 1866. She had 9 children.
Oh, God love her.
Can you believe that?
Yeah,
9
I believe it.
Well, but only 5 of them survived. Anyway, we're going to find out more as we go along. Look, there's a castle over there on the hill, Betty. See? Over there?
Oh, yes, I see.
Very interesting.
So today we are going down this way, but sometimes that's the way we come up. Let's see if we see another few signs like that which had been covered up. Yes, on the side roads, you will see that there have the entries. Look here on the right hand side, the sign has been covered up. Did you see it?
Well, as Yvonne is explaining, the traffic pattern is changed every 15 days. And I think that would be very confusing if I were a permanent resident of the city of Lourdes.
Well, don't you think that's because they're so narrow and now all the traffic that's there, they just can't handle it?
I guess so. I don't know.
Imagine trying
or maybe you know, everybody gets a shot at the different shops when they're open too. Of course, right now we have to explain in November, a lot of things have closed down. There are just a few hotels that are open and a few of the shops. Enough of them, though, believe me. And in fact, the hotel that we stayed at is a really very, very nice hotel. And it has a beautiful shop right there on the street in front of the hotel, which is part of it, actually. And if you're staying at the hotel, you get a nice discount, right?
That's right. But I love that hotel. I requested that. We'd been there before.
Yeah.
And we just had to go up a half a block and cross the street and go down. We were almost at the grotto itself.
That's what's so
location is so important.
Indeed.
Because, you know, if you get tired, you go back to your room, then you can take a little rest and then go back again and again.
Because, well, that's just it. And as we were saying earlier in the program, there are so many things to see and so many things to do while you are in Lourdes. You can just take advantage of an awful lot of things there. And so a lot of that you do want to try and do on your own, you know, at your own pace.
And it's safe.
Yeah, oh, very much so.
That's the nice thing. You can go out and feel completely at ease.
And the people are so nice here in Lourdes, you know. I just was, I hadn't been to France for a long time, and then when I went back, I was just wondering how the people were going to be, and they were marvelous. They were just
well,
great.
you know, we heard so much. So it was a sort of a political thing at the time, but we make so much more of these things in the United States than they do any place else. That's
anyway, fathers
huh?
are getting vested now, and there's some other priests from the United States that are here too. They're going to celebrate with Father Jerry because we're right here at the grotto, which you'll see in just a couple of minutes.
I'm trying to think of who the priest that was there. He's on our station, and he's the rapper. He's the Franciscan rapper. And our ladies all went pitty-pitty-pat when they saw him because they think he's so cute.
Well, you see him right there as he comes out processing with everyone else. And this was just really very, very moving, of course.
There he is.
One year we had been there, right. One year we had been there, and it was kind of drizzly and rainy. And today it was very much the opposite. It was lots of nice sunshine and just really, really quite beautiful.
You know what's so nice about this? This is the grotto. I mean, It's like, well, it is the original setting. It's not in a box. It's not in a contrived place, although they've done a lot of work to it.
Oh, yeah.
But then you can go right there in the front, put your hand down in the spring itself that was there at the start of the miracle of that.
Right.
And anyway, it's a holy place.
Yes, it is, very, very much so. And as I said, you look around town and you see up there on the mountain, there's the castle. I tried to get up to it this time, but it was closed. It said it was going to be open, and the guy at the ticket office wouldn't get off the telephone.
Oh, I
had to
remember
sell a
you.
ticket.
You
Right.
left us, and you were going to go
well,
up,
I wanted to
and
go
we
get some
went
pictures
on.
up there,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
because I couldn't, it had been closed the other time when we were there before. So anyway, I tried it again this time, and I'm sorry, it was he wasn't about to open it, so for some particular reason, but. Anyway, that's just the way that it goes. But this beautiful river that runs through is so nice because you can walk along here too. Museums, of course, as you see, and this is just underneath the castle, as we can see here. And we can wander through and go up the little streets to find the area right here.
Oh,
where
that was the
Bernadette
first
born.
hotel we stayed at.
Pardon me? The what?
I said that was the first hotel we stayed at.
No. That's where Bernadette was born.
Oh, I know. Sorry. That was just.
Yeah. Well, they redid this a little bit too. I mean, but it's a lovely place to visit, and the people, as I say, are so nice, and there are so many pilgrims that come from all over the world. So many people looking for a miracle.
Yeah.
And it is just so wonderful.
You feel that. You absolutely feel the faith of the people that are there. And they're from all religions that come
Right,
there for
everybody
help
as
from
well.
her. Yes.
That's true. Well, Francois, our guide, is going to explain about this wonderful basilica that's underground.
3 main basilica, 1 big church, Saint Bernadette, and all the different chapels were been created here in Lourdes. So this place was built, finished in 1958. So that means 1 century after the apparition. I said to you that one of the reasons was to create a big place in case of rain for the time of the procession. During the season in Lourdes, which opened in Eastern to All Saints, so quickly, there is twice a day the procession. The one in the afternoon, which is the blessing of the sick, and at night it's a candle procession. So in case of rain, from the time was built, the Rosary Basilica, which is the second one, was 1901. So it is why you see the works on the Rosary Basilica, because in November that would be 1 century of this basilica. So from 1901 till 1958, there was no solution in case of rain. So here it's the new solution. And here it's also the main place, the biggest basilica of the 3. It's 20,000 people in, imagine. But you imagine that today Lourdes is 5 million visitors a year. So this place is that meaning, but also there is other meaning into the construction, and I will try to explain it to you. Probably you saw that in Lourdes the 3 basilica are different style, and I will try to show you that those styles, show you how Lourdes changed from the time Lourdes was a local pilgrimage till the time Lourdes became a world pilgrimage. So when you see such a kind of building, you face one international style. That's one point. But also you are into an earthquake shelter. Here we are nearby the Pyrenees mountain, and like in California, sometimes the earth shakes, And so this is an earthquake shelter. But at the same time, when you look to this building, you face the image of a boat, don't you? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And which kind of boat?
The Ark.
The Ark, of course.
Now Francois is going to take us up to the Basilica of the Immaculate Conception, which, Betty, is in the Gothic style.
Oh, I'm glad to know that.
Yeah,
Thank you.
we'll learn more about it now.
in the history of Lourdes, you know that Bernadette, the little girl, she went down here, but in the place of the shrine, where in the grotto where you have the mass this morning. She went because she was looking for wood. In fact, she was on the way to the forest, but she knew that over there, the river could give her the chance to find wood and even bones. And that was the time of the first apparition to Bernadette. So Bernadette into the grotto, she received 18 apparitions. And during this time, she received 4 messages, were the message of Lourdes. First of the message was the message of penance for sinners. That was the first message she had received. Well, before she had received a personal message, but I give you the universal message. Then was the message of drink and wash. With that water she had to find, because the message gave to her to drink, and she didn't saw any water. So she dig into the earth, and she make appear that spring you saw into the cave at the moment. So this is why you use the water and you drink and wash, you know, with the water of Lourdes. Then the message was the message Bernadette giving: go tell the priest to build chapel and to make people here in procession. And so from this message, today we get first chapel, that's called the crypt. At the crypt, the first basilica. Down you, just behind, the second basilica, the Rosary Basilica. And then the underground and third basilica, underground basilica. Plus one church, the one which is in the other side of the river here, which is Saint Bernadette Church. Okay. So from the time of Bernadette, things had changed, you know. Time of Bernadette, Lourdes was 50,000 people a year. Today, 5 million. Okay. But when Bernadette, she went to see the priest and tell the message, go tell the priest said to Bernadette, can accept the message if you don't give me the name of that lady. So you back and you ask the lady to give a name. And then came the last message, which is the most important, which is, I am the Immaculate Conception. Okay. Next year, there will be 150 years of the dogma of the Immaculate Conception. And in 2008, 150 years of the apparition. Okay. So quickly you understand that the message of the Immaculate Conception was strong, you know, because it was the time to confirm the dogma of the Immaculate Conception. Okay. So we are going to see first of all the first chapel, which is the only one Bernadette ever knew. And so this is also the reason why into the first chapel, the crypt, you will see the relics of Saint Bernadette, because Bernadette became a saint in her life in Nevers. You know, after Lourdes, she moved to Nevers as a nun. Nevers is a place south of Paris, about 8 hours drive from here, long distance. And so the body of Bernadette is in Nevers, not in Lourdes. But in Lourdes, we have the relics of Saint Bernadette, and they are into the crypt, which is the only chapel she ever knew. And into the crypt, there are also those relics into the chapel of Saint Joseph, because Bernadette, she had that great devotion to Joseph, right? That's the point. So we first see the crypt, and then we will see the Immaculate Conception Basilica. And I will try to explain for you how this Immaculate Conception, it is something very important for France. This is typically French idea before being a dogma of the church. And so we will try to see how the bishop reacts by creating the first basilica in that special style of the first French Gothic.
We should explain that the shrines of Lourdes consist of 5 basilicas, and they're the crypt, the Basilica of the Immaculate Conception, the Basilica of the Rosary, the Basilica of St. Pius X, and the St. Bernadette Church. So it could be a little confusing unless you kind of take a look around and know exactly where you are. But anyway, as we can see here, this is the Basilica of the Immaculate Conception, the inside, and this is French Gothic. Betty, that's
Thank
what a
you
Gothic church looks like
That's
inside.
very nice of you to
Yes,
inform
all
me.
right.
I appreciate that.
And it's really quite beautiful. There's a lot of history here too, and Francois had given us a lot of time in here. Unfortunately, we don't have that much time on television to report all of it, but wanted to bring you part of it anyway. You'll just have to come with us on our next trip to Lourdes to experience this for yourself, because it is absolutely amazing, and the thrill that you get of being here is well, I can't explain it. You just have to experience it.
This church, this basilica, it's dedicated to the Immaculate Conception, but also it's dedicated to that long relation French church had into the history with Immaculate Conception. And one stained glass is going to give you some answer. This is the one on my left here. It's the one who said that in the 13th century, when this kind of style was created, in Paris, in Sorbonne, the doctors of Sorbonne, they say that we have to believe in Immaculate Conception, and mostly we have to create something new about this idea, and we have to create a new style.
I know that there's so much that needs to be covered here about Lourdes, but I do want to remind you again that we have here on Channel 49 several programs on Bernadette and on Lourdes, so you can be looking for those, and you'll see further, more in-depth explanation of the whole area, the whole city of Lourdes, and also, of course, of the various apparitions that happened here as well. And so I encourage you to keep watching Channel 49. Right, Betty?
Well, sure. They won't be as much fun as our show, but they will be. You'll just learn more from them, I'm
That's
sure.
True. That's true.
Well, we're going to go it again, I guess, next
I
year.
hope so. And if people are interested in the trips, give Betty a call. And that's about all the time that we have, right, Betty? So we'll see you next time. Bye.
Okay.